desafiando a los dioses. Con intensidad luchemos, no te rindas aun si perdemos, más fuerte será.
What is up, you guys? The Fallout Would Have here today, and basically, I'm going to be doing what if Deku, not fudge, I already messed it up. Anyway, I'm going to do what if Naruto. Well, what if Naruto's father, or what if, you know, somebody, what if Kakashi raised him? That's better. Now, I've already done this before, but kind of messed up on a lot of them, and not only that, it took so long, I already forgot everything. So we're going to do this much more simple. Basically, what's going to happen is this. Naruto's birth happened, Kakashi was there. Basically, after all that stuff happened, Naruto was crying. But all that stuff happened, and we need a little bit more people to get the powers. And when I mean the powers, I literally mean the power of the Nine Tails. And who would fit that role? Well, then, of course, Kakashi. Kakashi of the Hidden Leaf. But anyway, so what happens is this. Kakashi is there, seeing, basically, he's already seen what happened. Everything that was there at one point, he saw, and he basically saw, what's his face? He saw freaking Minato. He saw Minato, and he saw him coughing up blood and all that stuff, telling him that it's going to be alright, he's going to save him. And Minato just says, "Hey Kakashi, I need a favor to ask. I've already given half of the Nine Tails to Naruto. And now I need you to take the rest." And this is when basically Kakashi says, "Well, hold on. You have to understand, I'm not fit for that. I don't know the first thing to being a Jinchuriki." And this is when Minato says, "Yes, I know. But I'm going to trust you on this. I know that you are going to make a great shinobi one day. Not only that, I'm going to give this to you and to Naruto. I've already given it to Naruto." And he gives the rest of the Nine Tails to freaking Kakashi. Basically, he has the yin, and Naruto has the yang. And this is when basically Minato says, "She's already dead. But I want you to take care of Naruto. Train him and make him turn into a good ninja. I know that's a lot for me to ask of you, Minato. But I hope that you take care of him." And then he says his goodbyes. This is when Kakashi feels this strain of sadness. But this is when basically he just receives the seal, and he knows it's kind of overwhelming, but he's just trying his best to hold it in. And a couple of seconds later, he does, making sure that he feels every bit of it under control. Having a new seal wouldn't it would have knocked anyone out. But Naruto and Kakashi are just awake. But this is when basically, you know, everybody else comes. This is when Kakashi tells Lord Third, saying, "Please, let me take care of his son." And yes, they do have a talk, and basically Not Hagoromo. Hanto. Ah, sheesh, I forgot his name. Lord Third. This is when, basically, the third Hokage says, well. I see that you have the Nine Tails within you as well. And this is when, basically, Kakashi says, wait, how did you... I know a lot more than you may have think. I know that he would have wanted you to have it. He knows that we might need it. Because, for some reason, we lost those two. So, what do? And this is when, basically, Kakashi just says, just let me take care of him. I'll do everything, alright? And this is when, basically, Hanayosha? Oh, man. I really need to remember who these people were. But this is when he says, well, I'll let you do what you do best. This is when Danzo just, says, no, let me have him. He's not qualified. I've literally trained a bunch of Anbu. And this is when, basically, the third just says, having you around doing all that stuff would probably terrify the child. Let him do it. Besides, it's my order. And this is when, basically, Danzo says, fine. And basically, they all do what they're supposed to do. Now, this is when, over the next 4 years, Kakashi takes care of Naruto. Now, it's not easy. Let me tell you that. Having to deal with a little Uzumaki has never been easy. I can't say I know that personally, but I dealt with ADHD. My parents were sick of having to deal with me at times. So, this is when basically freaking Kakashi, does what he's supposed to do, takes care of him and all that stuff. He isn't always there, and it sometimes takes, a certain bushy-browed sensei saying, well, Kakashi, I'll take care of him. I'll make sure that he's much more stronger and much more better at doing this. And this is when basically Kakashi just says, please don't screw him up. Please just don't screw him up. This kid, I do not want this kid to be insane. And this is when basically freaking this is when my guy just says, yeah, don't worry, Kakashi, because I'm going to use the Fountain of Youth. And this is when he says, oh boy, I am terrified now. And this is when basically my guy just says, well, bye. And basically, just does his own thing. So, my guy takes care of Naruto as well. Not only that, Anko takes care of him. Why? Well, because they need, as Lord Third said it, a woman's touch. And when I say woman's touch, I mean, basically this kid's probably going to learn so much different stuff. So, Naruto learns all that stuff. And also, Izuku, I should have known. Okay, anyway. Basically, Naruto is being taught little by little different things. And when the whole bullying thing of Hinata goes, basically, that's what happens. Basically, Kakashi takes care of him. Kakashi picks him up. Because Naruto is a little more advanced, a little more adept to this kind of fighting. A lot more happier, but much more adept to fighting. Because of Anko's quote-unquote helping, she basically teaches him how to commit murder. And not only that, everything else happens basically the same, but except for Hinata being thankful, but wishing that Naruto would have at least stayed up, because, yeah, he still got hit. I'm not saying he's the best. He's a little more adept. But anyway, not only that, Hiyashi sees Kakashi as a weirder person because he knows that he has the Nine Tails, and the fact that Naruto has the Nine Tails, these two are possibly going to cause a rampage, and that's what Kakashi just knows. He knows that basically Hiyashi, or not Hiyashi in general, but the Hyuga clan and the other clans are basically going to judge him, as with anyone else in the Naruto, in basically Konohamaru. So all Kakashi does is just say, well, I'm glad that your daughter's alright. And this is when Hiyashi just says, I do not care about that right now. You just keep that demon brat away from me. Or my daughter. And this is when Kakashi says, he's not a demon brat. He's Uzumaki. Naruto Uzumaki. And this is when Hiyashi just says, I know who that brat is. But do your best to know that you do keep in mind the fact that I will not allow such a beast to attack my daughter. And this is when basically Kakashi says, yeah, right. Like what you do, like how much of a good job you were doing with those two other people that were, bullying him. Or her. Sorry about that. And this is when Kakashi just vanishes. And Hiyashi just says, huh, I do not care about that. And this is when basically he just takes her and just says, do not, hold on here. Yeah, well, let's just say that. You know what? Let's just say that. I thought I forgot that it was another person that did that, but that does not matter. What does matter is the fact that Kakashi just, picks up Naruto and just says that he did a pretty good job, even though Naruto's asleep, but he has to give him a little bit of a scolding due to the fact that he did fight. But it isn't that bad because he knew that he was protecting her. So, with Kakashi's training, Might Guy's training, and a little bit of training from Anko, just basically, teaching Naruto how to treat girls with respect and all that stuff, because she is a quote unquote a harmless flower. And this is when Naruto says, "Yeah, but you have snakes, don't you?" And she says, "Do not talk about the snakes. I dare you to talk about snakes again. I will kill you." And this is when Naruto says, "Ah, a demon! Come back here, you little turd. I'm gonna show you what a demon looks like." Give me a second here, people. Now, what does happen is this. Basically, he's been taught a lot of things. First of all, he's taught Naruto how to use his eyes. Now, he knows that Naruto has this one thing that nobody else has. He has slits in his eyes. They can turn blue or red. And basically, the reason why, we'll just say that it's because these two were close enough to where he's gained a little bit more energy from the Nine Tails, which in turn somewhat changed who he is in general. And basically, when all that stuff happened, well, Kakashi just told Naruto to not be scared. This is something that he must learn. Basically, Kakashi just tells him that it's alright. It may be scary at first, but he'll get the hang of it. So, his eyes can actually see much more farther. He can see things a little more clearer, and things are a little more slower at times. Now, Kakashi tells him that it's kind of like the Sharingan, but he's not an Uchiha. There's no reason to be scared. He thought for a second that he was an Uchiha because his eyes turned red. And even Kakashi was like, "Oh crap! This guy's he's going to kill me!" oh, he's going to pull an Itachi on me. And that's when a bunch of people start to attack me. But anyway. So, over the 8 years, or over the 6 years, he's 10, he's taught a lot more. The way he dresses much more differently. He doesn't wear the mask, but he does sometimes wear basically something to cover his eyes. And the reason why is because he does not want people to see his power. Kakashi told him deep down inside he knows how powerful Naruto is. But this is when he trains him into learning different kinds of jutsus. And I'm going to let him learn the Shadow Clone Jutsu and the Rasengan soon, but do not worry. So, when all this happens, he still fails the test. But this is when basically Mizuki just tells him, oh yeah, get the scroll and all that stuff. But he's already strong as it is. He's already beaten Sasuke. He's already beaten a lot of people who try to take him down. Even Kiba. And this is when basically all the fangirls are saying, boo! Get off the stage! He's cheating! And yeah, people thought of that too. Like, how strong is this kid? Like, how truly terrifying is his strength? And this is when basically Naruto says, I'm stronger because I'm better than you? I mean, it's not I'm being just dead honest here. And basically, Naruto is just saying all that stuff, getting a lot of other students mad, but there's nothing they can do about it because he truly is strong. Even Iruka knows about Kakashi being a Jinchuriki as well. But Kakashi tells him that it's going to be alright. He's not going to let Naruto become evil. This is when Iruka says, alright. He tells Kakashi that he does not think Naruto is evil. He knows Naruto isn't evil, but he's scared of the fact that Naruto could become that way if somebody leads him down the wrong path. And Anko and Might Guy are there because they care about this kid. And even Might Guy's like saying, yes, we gotta train him into not doing anything that will cause that day to happen again. And they're all looking at Anko, and Anko is like, what are you looking at me for? And this is when they're all thinking, oh boy, Hiruzen has to... Hiruzen! The third Hokage's name is Hiruzen. I screwed that up. But, this is when basically Hiruzen just says, he says in his mind, oh boy, I'm glad that I have Kakashi and Might Guy there. Although I'm a little skeptical of Might Guy, seeing that he might have trained Naruto to death. I'm more terrified of the fact of what could happen if Anko taught him anything. So, basically he still loses, he still fails the test, because he's not actually as good as people thought. Not only that, basically, Mizuki just teaches him a trick into finding a way to get out of all that stuff. And basically, Naruto just takes a scroll. Everything happens, but the thing is, a lot more happens differently. Naruto, while having the scroll, learns the Shadow Clone Jutsu in a matter of minutes. And Kakashi taught him the basics and the fundamentals of the Shadow Clone, but he hasn't taught him the true way of actually creating one. So, with the teaching of Kakashi and basically Naruto learns the Shadow Clone Jutsu relatively easily. Which, also, he read a little bit more because he's much more intelligent. Because back then, he wouldn't care. He would just be like, all lazy and all. Not lazy, but he would just skim over different stuff and he's like, oh, okay, do this. I don't want another this. He's basically he's cherry picking on what he wants. But with Izuku, with not Fudge, with Naruto's help, basically he teaches Naruto is teaching himself how to do it, and he's reading everything, which also tells him the way to actually use the shadow clone, which is you can learn faster if you have another clone, and the clone just gives you all the information that it knows and it processes. With that, Naruto makes a good 10 clones, and they all just start moving the scroll all the way to what it can know. Now, Naruto learns a lot of things fast. He learns a lot more things. Like, first of all, he learns how to create Rasengan. Not only that, he learns the Flying Rajin and different things, but mostly important things. I'm not going to give him the Reaper Death Seal because it has no consequence. It's like, as much as I want to do it, I'm not going to do it because it sucks in a way. I'm not saying it's terrible. I'm just saying it's not a right fit for the Naruto that I want to do. Alright? All you guys, you have all your opinions. I respect your opinions. Screw that. But, but anyway, sorry, I'm sorry. A little bit of jokes. But, Naruto is taught everything. Not only that, he's basically he's already fought freaking Mizuki, because he finds out that Mizuki's been lying, and Iruka's there, and basically Kakashi is there, but he wants to see what's happening. My guy was about to just charge in, but he grabs him by his freaking collar, his collar shirt, or whatever shirt. He grabs him by the cloth and he just says, "Shh, I want to see what happens with technically my son, which you guys are helping me raise." That's kind of weird because there's 2 guys and 1 girl. Never mind, people. Never mind. Oh crap! I'm such a Jiraiya at times. But anyway, so what happens is this: Naruto just says that he doesn't want to go, and he does not want to give him the scroll. Mizuki starts to fight, and Naruto grabs his Shuriken and throws it at freaking Mizuki. While that's happening, 2 Narutos grab him by his freaking I forgot, but not Kakashi, freaking Mizuki just gets out, replaces it with a log, or substitutes it with a log, and basically he's about to throws his Demon Wind Shuriken, or his Shuriken, that big Shuriken thing, and basically Iruka gets hurt, and all that stuff, and after all that stuff, he knows what's happening, and this is when basically all the other people just, they see what's happening with Naruto. And Naruto is actually pretty well with Iruka, because Iruka actually cares for Naruto. As much as in canon that would have not probably happened, due to the fact that he's already have a parent, Naruto sees him as a good person. He cares about Naruto so much that he's willing to be kind to him. Not a lot of people are kind to him, except for Hinata, possibly Sasuke, because Sasuke is okay with him. He doesn't see him as a monster. In fact, he likes him because of his eyes. That is the one thing he likes about him. And not only that, basically a couple of other people, although Sasuke doesn't like the fact that he lost to him. But we'll get to that later. Do not worry about that, people. Naruto just sees him with his eyes, and then basically Naruto just runs to him, headbutts him as hard as he can. After that, just hitting a tree. Well, Naruto hit freaking Mizuki, and Mizuki hit a tree. And this is when basically Naruto just runs as fast as he can. And he just does something with his hands. And Kakashi did not notice this, but Naruto sees a lot of what Kakashi does, which is different kinds of styles. He teaches him, well, basically what he saw was the Chidori. And Naruto does not do the Chidori. He does something else. Lightning Palm. Which is basically, or Lightning Fist. Basically, enough lightning to charge and basically punch and hurt the person. So, yeah. Pretty much Naruto is, how would I say this? Pretty much Naruto is already beaten Mizuki because Naruto's just punching him a lot and summoning a lot of clones as well, punching him with a barrage of lightning. And I will call this Lightning Storm, or I'll just say Lightning Barrage. And yeah, pretty much Naruto has just already like shocked him to the point where he's under cardiac arrest or something like that. Kakashi sees what's happened. Anko is there right now because Anko's always there wanting to see what's happened. Not only that, basically Anko is just taking care of Iruka, making sure that he's okay. Why? Well, because basically all that happened was Iruka is still hurt. He's not okay, he's hurt still. But this is when Kakashi just takes care of Mizuki, just runs away, taking him over there so that way he can put him in prison. Not only that, so that way Ibuki, or I think his name is Baki or Ibuki, whatever. But this is when Ibuki, is just taking him for torture, quote-unquote, interrogation? Possibly? Don't know, to be honest, don't care. But, yeah, this is when Izuku just, Naruto! Sorry about that, people, I always mess up. But anyway, this is when Kakashi, takes him there, and my guy and Anko are, like, rewarding, Naruto with praise and happiness and joys and hugs. Not only that, Iruka gives him his ninja headband, which that's Naruto's now. And now that I think about it, that's probably Iruka's headband from a very long time. Hopefully I'm right, and if probably I was too stupid to not even see it. And yeah, basically that's pretty much it. So after all that stuff happens, basically, let's see, pretty much Naruto is going to be there with Sasuke and Sakura due to the fact that, well, how would I say this? All three of them are going to be teamed up. I wanted it to be Hinata. I really wanted it to be Hinata. I chose out of a random number. I picked up the paper. I basically had I didn't cut down this thing, but basically I had this like dice, or not dice, on the phone that basically randomizes an even or odd number. And I did it so many times, and the one person who I did not want, who I should have just taken out of the picture, is Sakura. That is a blind, dumb fate that I had right there, people. But Sakura, it could be pretty much useful. She's been in a lot of other animes. Wink, wink, hint, hint. No, I'm just kidding. Oh boy, I'm gonna get demonetized for sure. But anyway. Basically, all that stuff happens, and Naruto talks with Hinata a lot. Well, he talks to her a little bit more. You know why? Basically, Naruto talks to her, and she's very kind to him. So this is when Naruto talks to her and all that stuff. And, he just tells her that, he's going to do good and all that stuff because he sees that she's pretty. He knows that she's pretty. He knows that Ino's pretty. He doesn't care too much about Sakura nowadays due to the fact that she's always, hopping on the you-know-what. And just jumping on it so that way she can get Sasuke's attention. So, what happens is this. And I'm sorry, guys, but the fate has been sealed. Sakura's there. Yippee. I'm so happy. You can tell the joy that's coming out of my mouth. I'm ecstatic. Oh boy, I screwed up big time. But anyway, after all that stuff happens, basically, you know, Kakashi just tells him that he's going to do the test. Naruto remembers a little bit of the test at times. And not only that, he does learn a thing or two about what happens. And Naruto knows because, first of all, Anko tells him what happens. And even though Might Guy was supposed to not talk, basically due to the fact that, you know, Naruto pulls this, "Oh, Mr. Might Guy, sir, can you tell me what the test is going to be?" And he's basically the youth of his fountain. Or basically he's exploding with happiness and joy due to the fact that the cutest kid that he ever raised, Naruto, actually, you know, it's Naruto, has asked him for help. Instead of running away due to the fact that he's trained him for a lot of stuff. So, by that logic alone, how would I say this? Naruto is, well, learning how to do different things. Not only that, understanding what the test is supposed to be. And now he talks to Sakura and Sasuke. Sakura doesn't listen, but Sasuke does. And these two make a plan. And the plan is to, well, basically you're going to know. Now, what happens in this, basically with everything that's going on with the Bell test? Well, here's the thing. He tells all of them to eat. Not only that, Naruto tells Sasuke to tell Sakura what actually happens. You know why? Because Sakura's not going to listen to freaking Naruto. She thinks he's worthless. She thinks that he's a weakling. Which, we all know he's not a weakling. We both know that. But this is when, basically, Naruto is covering his eyes because no one has seen his eyes for a very long time. Hinata knows what's happened to him. She knows what he has. And she, as much as she was scared at first, she's not anymore. She feels like because Naruto has saved her, she is going to be much more stronger as a person. Although she is still the same, in a way. So she's going to get stronger, but at the same time, she's pretty much her old ditzy self. Which is so adorable still. I love it. That's what I love a lot. She was so adorable. Brings tears to my eyes. But anyway, after all that stuff happens, basically Naruto, Kakashi talk for a while, and then they basically do the test. And well, basically, before we do they did the test. Basically, Naruto still pulls the prank off, and this is when he tells Kakashi. When Kakashi says, "What I got from all you guys is going to make me say this. You guys are going to be a pain in my butt, including you, Naruto." And this is when he says, "What did I do? We're family." And this is when he says, "Yes, I know how to. I've dealt with you a lot, but now you having people to work with, that is not something I was prepared for. And I've already dealt with you as a baby. Now I gotta deal with you as a child with 3 other children." And this is when he says, "But you know what? That's true." So the bell test begins. Naruto summons 10 shadow clones, and this is when Naruto basically just starts fighting all of them. And all that stuff happens. Well, basically, all that stuff happens with Naruto. Naruto just starts, like I said, fighting Kakashi. Kakashi taking a bunch of hits. Not hits, but he's dodging and blocking a lot of hits. And using a little bit of his Sharingan because he knows that Naruto's not a pushover. He knows that he's been trained into combat. He's been trained in Jutsu, Genjutsu, and Taijutsu by 3 people that are very skilled at it. So basically, Naruto starts to just start fighting with him, punching and kicking and all that stuff. And then his clones are actually doing combos as well. Basically, Sasuke is right there getting ready to do his jutsu. And Kakashi just says, well, Naruto, you're doing a pretty good job. But this is when he puts freaking Naruto in a genjutsu. And Kakashi's much more better at the Sharingan due to the fact that he got the good Kurama. So, pretty much, yeah, Naruto got Kakashi'd. Because they basically talked for a while, and Naruto and Kurama talked for a while, so basically they talked with each other, but it did not, it only worked for Kakashi because Kakashi was dealing with the nicer version, and he saw everything, but Kurama's not very happy about this. So basically these two keep fighting and all that stuff, but he's already genjutsu'd, so right now he's just trying to get out of it. And that's when Sasuke just starts to use the actual Earth Jutsu, basically Headhunter Jutsu, I think, grabbing him by his legs and pulling him down to the ground. So this is when all that stuff happens, but Kakashi is just trying to make sure that he can get out of there easily, but he can't. Why? Because he's already been taken down, in a way. But the thing is, he needs to get the bells. He should have thought of that beforehand. So, Naruto gets out of it due to the fact that Sakura starts shaking him and trying to get him out of it, and I guess shaking it for some reason. Shaking him, for some reason, snapped him out of it. So this is when he basically just goes under the ground and just tries to find the thing, or trying to find the bells, and he can't find them. Why? Well, because Kakashi substituted himself with the wooden freaking log. And I know that's probably not how it works, but whatever. So this is when basically he starts to try to hide, but because of Naruto having the Nine Tails within him, his senses are much more. His senses are doubled. Basically, they doubled because of the Nine Tails. I was going to say tripled, but let's say tripled now. So it's tripled. So he's thinking like an actual animal. Finding him is much more easier. But when Naruto summons a bunch of more shadow clones and just starts having a barrage with a lot of shadow clones, not only that, having Sakura somewhat pull off a tiny bit of genjutsu, Kakashi just tried to like get out of there, but basically Naruto takes the freaking bells. They won. Not only that, basically Kakashi was like, they used teamwork. I'm happy for them. And he says that they passed because they used teamwork. And basically, Kakashi says, well, I bet you're all starving. And this is when basically Naruto says that I already told them to eat. And this is when Kakashi says, wait, what? And this is when Naruto says, yeah, I forgot to say that I already talked to Anko and basically Mr. Might Guy. And yeah, I already told them to eat, so now they are not going to get hungry. This is when Kakashi says, but my plan! That was my plan! Naruto, why did you do that? Sorry, but you know, can't just, I need to win too. I can't just let you win and all that stuff. And he's all like, I should have known, but pretty much that happens. Now, all that stuff is ended. So we get to the whole point where they just, you know, do D rank missions and all that stuff. And we all know how much they suck and all that stuff. Pretty much they just keep doing D rank missions and D rank missions. But Naruto and freaking Naruto found a way to get out of that. Shadow clones. Shadow clones going a lot more faster and all that stuff. Them doing so many other D rank missions that's already done. Not only that, the fact of the matter being, Naruto told them, well, told basically Kakashi. He said, "Dad, let's go do a D rank. Let's do a C rank mission. Come on, I want to do at least something else." And this is when basically Naruto just is told by Kakashi saying, "All right, son, let's go, let's go." So basically, Naruto and Sasuke's relationship is not bad. It's not 100% good, but they're not hating each other like usual. The kiss happens still. The kiss does happen, which makes them be like, "Ah, I remember that day." Yes, I remember that too. That's not as gay as that was. It was none of our faults. We will not talk about it till the rest of our lives. So they basically talk to Tazuna. Not only that, but basically Naruto. Basically Naruto just tells him that they're going and all that stuff. Tazuna says that he's not going to let a blind kid protect him. And this is when Naruto just pulls off his mask, saying, "I always gotta show people this. This sucks." And this is when basically Naruto shows Tazuna the mark, or how do they say this? His eyes, and he said, and Tazuna says, "Oh crap! Please protect me." He does not know what to say. He's already shocked. It makes fun of Sakura though, because Sakura is not shorter than all that stuff. So after all that stuff happens, basically, the demon brothers start to attack. Naruto just starts taking care of them all. Well, not Naruto. Sasuke and Naruto just teamwork. Not only that, Naruto learning a thing or two. He shoots out water style, and he does splash water style raining jutsu or something like that, to the point where basically they get wet, and Naruto just summons his electrical fist, and he just basically says, "All right." It starts running, punching all of them, and shocking them every time. Them actually passing out due to all that stuff. Kakashi, Naruto, and Sasuke doing a little bit of a fist bump due to the fact that Naruto did not know that he still had the lightning mode on. Basically, Naruto shocked Sasuke's hand, which led Sasuke to punch him on the head. And yeah, pretty much, they're about to fight, but Kakashi said, "You guys just knock it off. You guys knock it off right now. We do not have any time for this. We have to take care of a person who needs our help." This is when Sasuke said, "Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do all this stuff. I was just a little bit more mad at the fact that you shocked me." This is when Naruto said, I forgot. I forgot to say, Naruto's still the lovable idiot that we know today. So don't worry, not as much changed. But after all that stuff happens, basically Naruto and all the other ones are basically, doing their own thing. This is when the bunny happens and Zabuza does his whole freaking attack. And this is when Naruto just, says, "Everybody duck," because he's already heard what's happened and saw what was happening. Even though people don't think he can see. The thing is, he can see perfectly. It's the fact that he can see so much, which gives him a little bit of a headache at times because he does not understand how to deal with that. So when that all happens, basically, Naruto. This is when Naruto does this whole thing, and basically starts to tell Kakashi that they need to run away or fight. And they know one thing. They can't run away with Zabuza at hand, not only that with Tazuna there. So, they tell them to run away. Naruto says, "I'm not leaving without you." And this is when he says, "Come on now, don't make this hard on me." And this is when basically Naruto tells him, or tells freaking Zabuza that he's going to kick his butt. And this is when Zabuza says, "As funny as that is, kid, you're no match for me." And this is when Naruto just summons a little bit of chakra within him, due to the fact that the tail beast within the nine tails within him knows that it's being challenged by someone who is obviously weaker than him. So he's like, "All right, Brett, I'm going to give you my chakra, but that doesn't mean we're friends." Oh man, that actually hurts the throat. But anyway, so this is when Naruto says, yeah, I know that we're not friends and all that stuff. I'm going to change your mind one day in a part where I'm going to be in Shippuden and all that stuff. So let's get ready. Now, basically, Naruto just starts to run, and he starts running even faster, just somewhat dodging every attack that Zabuza's giving him. And not only that, Kakashi is there, and he's already taught Naruto a thing or two about the way he fights. So these two start doing a little bit of a coordinated attack, which will lead Zabuza to get hurt a lot. Not only that, but with Zabuza hurt and all that stuff, Naruto just says, "Water style, Phoenix Jutsu." Now, why would I say that, you may ask? Well, it's because it's a water phoenix. You guys don't know what water phoenix are? Basically the same thing as a freaking fire phoenix, but the one thing that's different is that it's added with a bit of fire jutsu, which makes it hotter, which actually scalds and actually burns the person's skin. So that's the reason why it's called a phoenix, because it's still hot even though it's underwater. And this is when basically Naruto is actually the phoenix is actually it's a medium-sized bird, or not a medium-sized bird. It's basically bigger than Zabuza. But this is when basically Naruto says release, and he starts feeling this steam all over him. Why? Well, because Naruto has he's already done this thing with his power, which creates steam. So with the steam there, it's hot and it's all over the place. That's when Naruto just throws shurikens at freaking Zabuza. Zabuza, feeling this one of the sharp pains, starts to block everything and actually gets cut. This is when Naruto gets the upper hand, but this is when basically he just gets slammed with Zabuza's sword because he was not paying attention. This is when Naruto tries to get up, but he can't walk on water. And this is when he just starts to sink. Kakashi just shooting out Chidori, slamming it into the sword because Zabuza blocked it, crushing it. And this is when basically the chakra that he used is already pretty much already out. But this is when he just starts to swim very fast, using the chakra of the tailed beast. And this is when he just starts swimming as fast as he can and picks him up, jumping all the way up, jumping as hard as he could, using the water as well. He's using the water to run up. So while doing that stuff, he basically jumps up, kicking freaking Zabuza, landing on top of the freaking part of the land, putting him down, and just summoning his Sharingan again, which almost turns into a Mangekyo. Almost. And this is when he says, "I will not let my comrades die. But I will not ever let my son die. The fact that you almost killed my comrade angered me. But the fact that you almost killed my son leads to your death." And this is when he summons two freaking Sharingans, and he just runs as fast as he can. First of all, slamming it into the freaking slamming it into the part of the freaking blade that broke, and then after that, slamming it into Zabuza, but Zabuza already pushed it away. And this is when he basically punches freaking Kakashi, but Kakashi mid-air, kicks freaking Zabuza, and basically Kakashi feels his pain, and this is when he starts to summon Water Dragon Jutsu, and after that, a Fire Jutsu, summoning fireballs, and because he's mad, his wounds are healing, but his stamina is going out a little bit. This is when Haku does his whole thing, and after that, you know, they leave. Naruto is already passed out, and all that stuff. Sasuke and Sakura are worried for him. Sakura is not as worried, but she's still worried nonetheless because somebody almost died in front of her. So, this is when Naruto just wakes up with bandages, but this is when Kakashi just is sleeping, and this is when basically Tazuna is trying to pick him up or like take him all the way over there. This is when Naruto is already like sleeping and all that stuff. This is when Sakura's there, and this is when Naruto says, "Where am I?" Sakura says that they're alone for now. They have to basically wait because Naruto couldn't be held. How would I say this? Naruto couldn't be held, so Sakura was left to take care of him. They will come back as soon as they can, and this is when Naruto just says, "Alright, I'm sorry about that." He says there's no need right now. He was an idiot for going and trying to fight Zabuza all on his own. This is when Naruto says, "I did not want my father to die." And this is when Sakura just says, "That's crazy. Why would you think that basically Kakashi will die?" And this is when he says, "Well, the fact of matter being, how would I say this? I guess it's the fact that I care about him. That's why. There's no reason to it at times. It's just because someone cares about someone, they would actually protect them. Not only that, you could have actually protected Tazuna, but it's not because you cared about him, it's probably because of the mission. But because I cared about my father, I would have died protecting him, even though he wouldn't even need my protection. At times, that's what people do." This is when Naruto just gets into Sakura's skull, and basically, she just kisses him straight on the head, and just says, "That is the only thing you're going to get from me. But because you were all willy-nilly and all that stuff, I guess I will say that you did a good job." This is when Naruto kind of blushes a bit. And I know, she's not a very good fighter, but she can be used for other things. That does not sound like a good thing. That sounds very harsh. But Naruto and basically Sakura start walking, and basically Tazuna has already told them where they're going to, so they gotta stay for a while. And then basically they are picked up by Tazuna, taken over there, and basically this is when Naruto meets Inari. I was about to say Izuku, but I caught myself. Where's my cookie? I need my cookie right now. I did good for once. So Izuku... Fudge! So this is when Izuku starts to just talk to Inari. Inari just says that, "Oh, you have a father," and all that stuff and everything. And this is when Naruto says, "Oh yeah, well at least you knew that you have your real parents." And this is when Inari says, "Wait, what?" This is when Kakashi spits out his food. Well, he can't actually spit out his food, but this is when basically Naruto just tells Inari, "Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, I know that my parents are actually dead. I know that's not my real father, but he's done so much for me in the past that he is my father. At least you know your mother. At least you have your mother. At least you have her grandfather. I don't have all that stuff. Yeah, sure, I have Anko and Mike Guy and, well, technically Old Man Third. But that's because they care about me. You have you have blood relatives. I don't. My father and my mother are dead. And as for my grandparents and their grandparents, they're not here anymore. So I gotta live with that, and I don't want to hear that from you. And this is when basically Naruto just walks out, and he starts training. Kakashi teaches him how to do all that stuff, and this is when Naruto just starts feeling this aura within him, because he's training for a special attack. Only he knows. Well, basically two other people will know. Wink wink, hint hint. And yeah, pretty much the fight with Zabuza is going to happen, but not right now. Why? Well, because I'm going to end it off here. So, like, comment, do subscribe to the channel here, people. This has been the Fallout. What if you're here? Bye.